Thank you very much for being with me. I would like to thank at the outset to three persons especially. One, Sri Ramchandra Gowdaji, very good friend of mine, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Jayappaji, who made all the efforts to organize and ask some persons to be in touch with me. So that is why I am here to interact with you. And third and most important thing, you participants, all teachers and all researchers who are devoting some time to pay attention to my experience. I am Balvindar Singh from Nanak University, Amritsar. My area of specialization has been finance. I am not a man of econometrics, but I teach financial econometrics. Reason being, let me share one thing with you that data analytics is a field where the more you practice, the more you learn. Learning softwares is not a very important thing or not a very big thing. If somebody boasts that I know this software, that softwares, I do not appreciate that type of claim. Because personally I feel the subject knowledge is more important than the knowledge of a software. If we do not know mean, median, mode, then the output produced by SPSS, data, eView softwares will not be very useful for us because we do not know where to use mean and where to use median. So at the outset, you should have adequate knowledge so that your inputs and outputs, those can be adequately planned and executed. You should have knowledge of a subject as well as softwares, a combination of both, so that you can be a good researcher. In the past, what has been the practice, generally we used to give our data to some software professional and asked him to produce results for us. And whatever he produced, we believed in those results and presented those results. But now the time has changed and all the commerce or management or any researchers in any field, they are themselves are applying these statistical tools and interpreting the results. One thing more I would like to share that there are two types of softwares. One are paid softwares like SPSS, eViews for time series data, Stata for all types of data, JMP. There are so many. List is a very lengthy list. But on the other hand, there are wonderful professionals in this field who are working continuously to produce wonderful machines of learning in the open field. That means that they are not being sold in the market. They are being provided free of cost to you. You can use them and you can modify them. You can recommend them to someone else. In this field, personally I feel R is a wonderful software, or you can say language. Every researcher should have R and R Studio. But if suppose you are not very comfortable with language part, no problem. You can have R Commander and many GUI based applications of R. Then we have Jamuli also. Recently I have explored this software and it has produced wonderful results, especially its sensitivity analysis. In the sense you change the data, automatically your output gets changed. And but it has so many features. I would like to give you one lecture on that. Then we have Gretel for econometrics problems. It can handle cross-sectional also. It can handle time series. It can handle panel data also. So this list is also very long. You can say ESPP, whatnot. So personally, I advise all the researchers, if you have purchased this software, go ahead with that, no problem. But if suppose you are not able to purchase, then devote some time, very minute time. If you know how to operate mobile or you can say your WhatsApp, then you can learn these type of softwares. So do spend some time in this COVID-19 situation to learn some software so that you can upskill, you can improve your skills as a researcher and as an analyst. So let me share my screen with you and introduce the topic which has been given to me. I am sharing screen with you. So now I have given a title: Data, Information, Knowledge and Wisdom. Every word has a meaning and has a sequence also. First we get raw data, we process it, we get information. We use that information, produce knowledge, and that knowledge is used to produce wisdom or attain wisdom. So, as a researcher, you will always get raw data, and rest depends on the way you think, the way you analyze, the way you interpret. That depends on researcher to researcher. Now, say data. Data is a raw data, and some information has been given to you. RED read 192, 234, 235, something like that. But you have given meaning to this data, raw data, and it has become information because this information has been interpreted as south-facing traffic light on the corner of Pitt and George Street has turned red. Because this was a code language which has been decoded. Now we go to knowledge because we have attached context also for this information. What is this? This is traffic light I am driving towards has turned red. This information has come to me. And when I have used this knowledge applied, what is the meaning of this? I should stop my car because the light has turned red. That is a wisdom. So you can feel or you can see the relationship. You may have data only. You may not convert that data into information. You may lose knowledge and you may not get wisdom. So it's a process. And that process depends not on only softwares. It is just a means to help you to get to wisdom. It is so many inputs that are accountable for this journey from data to wisdom. Now, when I say data, now data need to be converted into information with the use of descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics, as the name indicates, so we try to derive some information, describe this data in such a way that it produces some information. I will exemplify this later on with the help of software. But you have a data and you can describe that data with the help of some statistical, you can say, interfaces that you get some information. And that information becomes knowledge, generalizable knowledge, when you enter into inferential statistics branch. That means you have a sample from the population. You study that sample using descriptive statistics as well as inferential statistics, testing of hypothesis, regression and whatnot. And then you create generalizable knowledge that you use to achieve wisdom. Now, you can, from this diagram, you can understand the importance of descriptive statistics. And let me admit, many researchers, they do not attach importance to descriptive statistics. They start simply to testing of a hypothesis, and they fail miserably in achieving the objective because they have ignored one important foundation to reach at the higher level. Now, when I say data, I have a sample. I describe that data, I get information. I use inferential statistics, I get knowledge. That knowledge I use in order to arrive at some decisions. And those decisions, because decisions always happens with regard to present or future, that relates to future reality. And you can say generally we create models for forecasting purposes. So future reality again create data, and this process goes on and on and on. So the whole process, you can understand that descriptive statistics assumes a very important role in this. Now see this picture. So many persons, I think there is one train. I do not know the religion of the persons. I do not know the number of the persons even. The size, weight, nature, tastes, you do not know. It is, you can say, noise, noise, and noise. When I say noise, this means I am not getting anything out of this picture. I know this is so many persons have boarded a train. That's all. And they could not find out seats, so that is why they are everywhere. But rest is a story I do not know. So whenever you get the data, you get data in this format only. You do not have clear-cut picture before you. And it is your expertise, your knowledge, which helps you to get some conclusive information from this data. Say, this chart shows Oscar 1, A2005, Karen, Castre, Karen 4.5, 58, BB 6305, Bob. I don't know what is this, all this. They told me that this is the data, but I do not know. And the thing is coming out of this data, you understand my point. Or you can find out. But okay, now see the job of a researcher. Now they have converted the whole information into a tabular form. And now I came to know, okay, there were 4 customers whose names were Oscar, Karen or Bob, right? Whether they were club members or not, that was 01, date of the club membership, type of membership, brands they are using, size, amount, like this. So that's very good. I got from this data, I got this information. That's very nice. Now I can further improve this information. Say club membership 01, date 52210. Oh, sorry, what is this? Is not a date. Type B. What is B? Sorry. Size 58. 58 size, I don't know. Amount rupees, dollars, no, I don't know. Sorry. So let me change. C. Now this is a better format. Now I say club membership. I have given a no, 0 as a no, and 1 as yes. That it was 52210. Now it is very clear that it is 22nd May 2010, 6th, 3rd June 2010, 15th June 2010, and 20th August 2010, like that. Even the type, I am using bike or tube or tire or bike. Brand, this is very clear. Now size, now they have given centimeters and inches. So I am getting better labeling now. And the amount, this is in dollars. See, now from my journey from this to this and to this is a job of a researcher. This is a job of an analyst. This is a job of inquisitive persons who wish to get something better with every steps. Now, data is nothing. It can be collection of numbers. It can be labels also. It can be symbols also. But remember, the context of those values is very important. Say, I say 8146082233. Now, this is a number, but you do not know the context. Actually, this is a mobile number. When I say this is my mobile number, what is the meaning of this? I cannot use it for any purpose of analysis. Otherwise, I could have used it for coding or some other things. So it is the context which gives something which is not known to us irrelevance or a picture. It is a subset of a much larger group data because we generally get sample, not the population. Population is always a census study. Data can also arrive sequentially, that is a time series data. For the information in the database to be useful, we must know the context of the number and text it was definitely true. Include units for numerical variables, very right. When I say height, I must know the units of measurement. Weight, I must know. As a researcher, let me tell you, qualitative and quantitative data. When I say qualitative data, I need to have no units. But when I say quantitative data, I need to have a unit for measurement. Height need to be measured in units. Weight need to be measured in units. Profit need to be measured in units. Sales, expenses, what not? GDP need to be measured in some units. So all of the cases share the same unit. That is also the requirement. And you need, if you can say the features, whenever you get the data, you must have the name of the person who collected the data, source of the data, when and where the data was collected, and why the data was collected. Because they can sometimes create a context. Because if data has been collected pre-COVID, and remember that data may not be relevant in the post-COVID-19 situation. So time, who collected the data, if it was experienced person or inexperienced person, like that. So use clear names for your variables. Sometimes we say school and we say SCH. So we are not, sorry, we later on forgot what is SCH. So we do not generally try to give short names for our wonderful name, full names. So give clear names for your variables so that everybody can understand. Distinguish numerical data from categorical data. Categorical means qualitative data. I'm going to devote some time on this. And numerical data means which can be measured, properly measured in terms of units. Now you should track down the details when you get the data and keep track of the source of the data. So these are some of the features we must keep in mind in order to reach somewhere. So do not assume that a list of numbers provide numerical data. 143005 is my PIN code. That is not a data. That is a categorical data, I say. So don't trust all the data which you get from the internet. Sometimes it's a noise. It is not a data. Don't believe every claim which is based on survey data especially. So should the government raise taxes so that it can waste money? And same thing, should the government raise taxes to protect our citizens and improve health care? So it can be different context when you get the data. Okay, now given this, let us devote some time now on the data. Remember, data means that data need to be analyzed, that data to be interpreted when there is a variation. Variation is the life of the data. Variation is spice of data. If there is no variation in the data, then no analysis at all. And variation in the data is captured through variables, not through constants. If I say height of the persons in a city is only 6 feet, all the persons 6 feet, what you will analyze? Nothing. If everybody is Muslim, nothing. If everybody is male, nothing. So if there are some Muslims, some Hindu, some Sikh, some male, some female, some shorter height, some longer height, you can say, then we can think of, but otherwise we cannot. So let us first of all see what type of variables which captures this variation opposite to constants. So which captures these type of data, what can be possible? Say, according to International Football Federation, FIFA 2011 end of the year rankings, World Championship, France maintained their supremacy at the top of 812 points. And so table has been given, right? If table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and countries are given Argentine, Brazil. Suppose if I do not read or go through the last two columns. One is for Argentina, two is for Brazil. But I do not say Argentina is at the top. I have just given an identifier, a number to Argentina, two given to Brazil, three given to Colombia, four given to England. So these are names only, names of the countries which have participated. So these numbers do not attach any importance. You have given. You can give 100 to Argentina, 200 to Brazil, 300 to Colombia. You can give 1 lakh to Argentina, 2 lakh to Brazil, any number, any number. So these are identifiers. This type of data is known as nominal data, names only data, nothing more than that. And I cannot order. I cannot say Argentina better than Brazil, Brazil better than. These are names of the country, and that's all. But the moment I go to third column, ranking, now I am ranking the countries. The same countries, now I say number one is France. See the ranking, first ranking, second ranking, third ranking, fifth ranking, 10th ranking. Now this data ranking, it is giving me order. And order to the country, this is called ordinal data. If I do not give any order, in layman's language, gender, male and female, no order. But the moment I say high income, medium income, and low income, you will say first high income, then medium income, then low income. If I say Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Isai, all these persons, four persons, like Christians, then you will not say assign anything to that. Any caste, you will not assign any gradation. But you can say toppers, middle class, high income, anything, height, larger, smaller, shorter. So you can give order. And if you can give order, this becomes ordinal data. Mind one thing, when a data is ordinal, it's a qualitative. You are categorizing. But now you are placing categories in an order. But the difference between the categories is not known to us. It is not quantifiable, it is not unique, and it is not identifiable. I know that France is number one and Argentina is number two, but I do not know the difference between France and Argentina. That difference is not constant. Then Argentina and Brazil, it is 2 and 3 points. Argentina is at number 2, Brazil is number 3. But I do not know whether France and Argentina is equal to Argentina and Brazil difference. So the differences are not a constant. Differences are not identifiable as such. We say simply they are better and they are the worst. That's all. This is ordinal. Categories, but in the form of an order, nothing more than that. When I consider the fourth column, it clearly says now quantifiable. Now you can definitely say France is getting 812 points and Argentina 802 points. So this means France is 10 points ahead of Argentina and Brazil is 9 points lower than the Argentina. So now I am able to quantify the differences. So now this type of data is a scale data. You can say earlier country nominal data, ranking ordinal data, but these points, this is called scale data. Further we can classify this, but we will devote some time later on. So this example clearly shows, and all these PPTs have been taken from various sources. This PPT belongs to Narendra Kumar Garagji. So he created these types of variables PPT. Now see, in order to be more, you can say, give you clarity on this concept. Nominal data is number assigned to runners. 7th number runner, 11th number runner, and 3rd number runner. That's all. But you never say that 11th number runner is at 7th position. Say jersey numbers, you can say. So 7th, 11th, and 3 are simple identifiers. In case of ordinal data, now this person, 3rd number runner has got the first position. 11th number runner has got the second position and 7th number runner has got the third position. But you do not know the difference. First, second and third, I know the order, but not the difference between first and second and third. When I say interval, now I have given them their performance from 0 to 10 scales. The first one got 9.6, then 9.1 and 8.2. Now it is very clear that I can find out the difference between these two. And here in case of intervals, very clearly it is visible that I can quantify their positions. In case of a ratio, time to finish in the seconds, how much time they have taken to finish in the seconds. In case of interval and ratio, the only difference is that in case of intervals, we assume something equal to 0. In case of ratio, you have a natural 0 as such. Say temperature. In case of I say there is no temperature, this means I am assuming some amount of temperature is equal to 0. But in case of ratio, if I say there is no height or no weight, this clearly means the person have 0 height. This means no height. I am not assuming. That is not assumption. So in case of interval, I can assume something as equal to 0. But in case of ratio, this is a natural 0. This is not assumed 0. So come to the summary guide, various ways I can use for these type of data, because I will be using software SPSS and movie to tell you how I can. Now in this I see very clearly frequency table. This is one way to show the data. Second is the graphical formats to show the data. And third is some numerical formats to show the data. So if you have scale variables, that is that is called you can say ratio and interval. We can prepare histograms, dynamically plot, box plots, means and deviation, median, interquartile range, skewness, kurtosis, like that. In case of ordinal variables, we can find out bar charts and frequency tables. We can find out percentage and cumulative percentages. In case of nominal variables, we can find bar chart, pie chart, frequency tables, and percentages. So this means I do not use the word inferior here, but this is a low quality data. This is a better than this, and this is a better than this. Here you do not have any order, simply names. Here you have order, and here the differences between the orders, that is exact, that is measurable. So this is a quantifiable, and these two are categories only, nothing more than that. So if I may use this graph to tell you, because the topic is descriptive analysis. So when I say descriptive analysis, I mean I will prepare tables in order to fetch some information from the data. I will use graphs, various types of graphs, in order to fetch, you can say graphical display, to fetch some amount of data. And I can use numbers also. So all the three things are achieving what they are doing. They are converting data into information, nothing more than that. You have data, you create tables, you get something. You have data, you create graphs, you get something. You have data, you use numbers, and you get something. And in case of numbers also, we have measures of central tendency, mean we have, median we have, mode we have, geometric mean, harmonic mean, trimmed mean. So I will be explaining them when I will be devoting some time on this. Measures of central tendency, that means one value which represents the whole distribution. Then I have some medians, quartiles, deciles, percentiles. From this I can find out the characteristics of the data, important points. And when I wish to find out the variation of the data, I can use range, variance and deviation, coefficient of variation, interquartile range. I can use these measures in order to examine the variation in the data. In order to find out distribution of the data, I can use skewness and kurtosis for the purpose of this. So we'll be preparing some tables with the help of SPSS. We'll be devoting some time on graphs with the help of SPSS. We'll be devoting some times on numbers also, and I'm trying to understand. But let me emphasize here is that you will be getting the same information or some better information, you can say, when you use these. These are not mutually exclusive. If you have used graphs, you cannot use tables. No. Graphs will serve different purposes. Graphs mean seeing something and that's all. Tables means understanding and interpreting something. Tables is percentages, ratios, totals have been given. Graphs mean some bars, right? Some density plots. And when I say numbers, number clearly means center, median, quartile, variation, all this. These numbers are telling some story to us. So that will give me some other pictures also. So let me stop sharing this information to you. The purpose of this lecture was curtain raiser. That when I prepare the everything, I will take a data set. I will introduce you that data set to you, and then we will be using tables. We will be creating some graphs. We will be finding out mean, median, modes, and then interpreting those values in order to understand. As I have been given 1 or 2 hours, I cannot teach you the whole school of statistics. I cannot teach you the characteristics of means. That mean, if you give me mean only, then I will ask you, okay, give me trimmed mean. By using trimmed mean and mean, I can conclude whether there is an outlier or not. So you need a different framework, a different set of, a different time frame in order to teach you each thing in details. But the purpose of this lecture was to introduce you. It is introduction. This is not the end of the story. You can read many books on this, and then we can be, because you cannot say, I have learned everything. The day I say, I learned first SPSS, okay, then I was very happy that SPSS is now known to me. Then I spent some time on eViews. So I was very happy, I know eViews. Then came Stata. Okay, Stata is fine. Then came R software. And nowadays I am devoting time on Jump, JMP. So my point is, it's a journey. It is not end. Do not stop here that, okay, we have given time for lecture. We have gone through this lecture and now this is known to me. No. Try to read more and more so that you become more knowledgeable. Try to understand data you will be given, but how to convert information, knowledge and wisdom. That depends on the researcher, not on the machine. So I will meet you in the next lecture. The last lecture, we discussed what is data and how it can travel its journey from data to wisdom. Data gets converted into information when we use certain tools to extract patterns in that, to draw meanings from that by using graphs or different formats, and then how that information can be used to reach certain decisions which create knowledge, and how knowledge can be used which can lead to wisdom. Today, the whole process from data to wisdom by using descriptive statistics, I'm going to explain with the help of a software known as SPSS. So there are two objectives of this lecture. One objective is that what is this software SPSS, how to enter the data, and second, when a data set has been given to you, how to analyze it, how to extract information by using descriptive statistics. So let me share screen with you. First of all, let me find out the data we are going to have. I am having some files with me. Description of text, Titanic CSV, Titanic SAV, and Titanic Excel. So let me open first of all Titanic Excel, or you can say Titanic CSV, so that I can import that data. But before I do that, let me teach you, if suppose data is not given to you and you are to create a data set on SPSS, what you will do. So I'm sharing screen again with you. That is of SPSS, and then I am going to teach you with regard to what SPSS is. So SPSS, this is the screen which will be with before us. So let me share that screen with you. Okay, fine. Now devote some time on this sheet. This is input sheet, not output. This is input sheet, and it has two facets. One is data view, and second is variable view. In data view, we are to enter the data, and in variable view, we are to enter the information with regard to various variables. When I say data view, on this side, row wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these represents the persons, companies, countries, time period, so cross sections, across the section. And this variable, these are the variables, say height, say age, say weight, say gender, any variable, nominal, ordinal, or cardinal. So if suppose we have a data of 20 persons, so this will be from 1 to 20. We are going to fill the information. So first person's age, first person's height, first person's whatever the characteristics of that persons we are going to study, that will be shown here. So let me first of all create some variable. Say I create one variable named as age, age, age. So I write here age. And the moment I write here age and click it, I will be getting this information from this. So what it shows, this age is a numeric type of variable. It's not a string. String is a character variable. So it's a numeric type of variable. Suppose if I create a variable known as name of person. So name of persons cannot be 5, 6, 7, 8. Name of persons will be Ram Singh, Sham Singh, whatever the name. So that type of variables are known as string variables. And remember, those variables cannot be analyzed in SPSS. Only numeric variables can be analyzed in SPSS. So it shows me the width of the variable, decimals. How many decimals I am going to use in case of them. Label. When I say label, now age is a name of the variable, but here I can write the details of the age, in the sense age of students, age of teachers. So I can give a description of that variable. Not only description, I can fix a label. The name of the variable will have to be very brief, very meaningful, very concise, but label can be a bit detailed also. Simply say school, but here I can mention the school from where I studied. So like that, labeling of that, if you do not mention anything under label, then output will only take a variable name. But if you mention something under label column, then output of the SPSS will be using the labels here. Then values. If I click here values, it will be value, label, and then some add, change, and remove. Now this is used generally for qualitative variables. Remember, when I say gender, gender has two aspects, male and female. This software cannot recognize what is male. But if I say 1 is equal to male and 2 is equal to female, then it will automatically recognize what is male and what is female. So I will be giving some labels to them. So values labels I will be mentioning here. If some values are missing, then I can specify, okay, if I put 999 here and 999 will be, it is a missing value. I just giving a information to SPSS that this is column width, alignment, this type of variable. Age is a scale variable, so I can mention here scale variable. Now I go to data view. And here I can enter the age of the person, say 25, 36, 25, 85, 45, 35, like that. So this is a variable has been created. So now you can create a second variable here, third variable, fourth variable, fifth variable, depending on that. So in this way, Variables can be created in SPSS. Variable can be nominal, ordinal, because I am going to explain with the help of a data set. So there you will be able to understand how to create a variable in the data set. The second stage comes how to import data. Suppose you have a data in Excel somewhere. You would like to import that data in Excel, in SPSS. So how you are going to do that? So let me share first of all screen with you. I will be using my second screen share, that is with regard to Excel. I would like to import. So this is the data set I would like to import. This is an Excel sheet, and I would like to import this data set in SPSS so that I can use it for my purposes. So see, it has some columns, and all the columns on the first row we have been given the headings or headers of the column. So first is survivor data, second is PC class data, third is name data, fourth is sex, fifth is age, then siblings, then parents, then fare, like that. See, this is mentioned on Titanic sheet. Second sheet is a try sheet. So there is some data also, but I don't want this data. I want data from Titanic sheet, not from try sheet. So I am going to import this data in SPSS. I'm going to explain how to import this data in SPSS. So let me start the process. I stop share, and then I now sharing my SPSS screen with you. Now this is the data already I'm having, so I'm importing this data. I go to file, I go to open, and which data I would like to import, I can see here data. Now the data is placed on desktop in workshop folder, and this data is Excel data. So Titanic Excel sheet is there. So I open this sheet. Error accessing the Excel file may be opened by another application. Okay. So I will have to close my Excel sheet, which is already open, so that I can open here. So I access again my Excel sheet, which is there. Now it is not giving me any error message. Fine. Now see and try to understand. When you click on this, read variable names from the first row of the data. If you can recall from the Excel sheet, in the first row, we was having the headers of the data. So read variable names from the first row. Under worksheet, see, I was having two sheets, try sheet and Titanic sheet. But I would like to import only Titanic sheet. So I click on Titanic sheet. I say OK, and the data gets imported here. The data is before me, so data has been imported, right? Now, the same data is there, so I would like to change this data. The survived says 0 and 1. 0 means not survive. This person could not survive. 1 means this person could survive. 3 means this person has boarded a ship under third class ticket. This person has boarded ship on the first class, and like this, male, female, everything like that. So if you can recall, giving you some information about this data set, if you can recall, let me share one screen again with you. If you can recall the tragedy which has occurred in Titanic, if you can recall the ship, the story of the ship. This was considered to be the largest ship, the wonderful ship, Titanic, where so many persons, around 887 persons, boarded the ship in different categories: first category, second category, third category. Then the ship started the journey. Many stories were there, and then, if you can recall, and accidentally, because of that accident, the ship could not complete its journey, and many persons died in this tragedy. And some persons could survive and some persons could not not survive. So this is the data set which has been given to you. This is a raw data, and we are going to analyze this data with the help of our SPSS software. So let me share screen with you my SPSS data set. So it clearly shows that the data which has been given to us. So survived class, name of the person. This was Mr. Owen Harris. So he could not survive. He boarded plane in third class category. He was a male. His age was 22 years. He was having one spouse or siblings with him. No parents, no children. He paid 7.25 pounds or whatever the currency of the fare was at that time. They have paid that, right? So this data is given to me, so many persons' names, and if I see this data, I cannot find out anything from this information as such. I can only tell each and every person, but I cannot say for the whole data set. And how many persons? 887 persons. So Mr. Patrick, he could not survive, and he was also male. Now, let me first of all do whatever I am to do with this data. The first variable is survived, and this variable is a numeric variable. So here the category is either the person survived or the person have not survived. So let me, if the value is 0, and I say not survived, I mention here not survived, SURVIVE, so not survived. And if the value is 1, this means person has survived, SURVIVE, survived, right? And I say okay, the job has been done. Now come to second variable, class, PC class. There were 3 classes. So if the value is 1, what I will say, first class. If the value is 2, I will say second class. If the value is 3, I will say third class. Okay. Now come to name. This is the name of the person. It's a string variable. I cannot do anything with this, but I will analyze. Yes, sex I can. So I am going to convert this string variable into a numeric variable. Age no need to convert. Siblings no need to convert. Parent, children no need to convert. Pair no need to convert. But sex string, male and female, it is mentioned here. They have not mentioned 1 or 2. They have mentioned male, M-A-L-E. So I will have to recode this variable, and so that 1 comes for male and 2 comes for female, or whatever the case may be. So I will use this command, transform. I will use automatic recode, and under automatic recode, I shift this word sex into this category. I create a new name for this, SEX, sex, say under numeric. This is a new name, add new name, and I say automatically recode. Recode automatically give lowest value to the first one and next highest value to the next one. So like that. So I say okay, and you see the variables has been recoded in the last category, and here you can find out 1 has been given to female and 2 has been given to male. So this is the data set before me. Not survived, not survived, survived, third class, first class, second class, gender here same, male, female, like this, but I can check the values also and labels also like this. So if I press A and 1, so if you can find out whether these are the labels or value labels, or the values which have been given to them, so you can use them. So this is the data set which has been given to us. Now my friends, data set is fine for me and I have understood it also. Now I would like to find out some information. Now because data set is a raw data set, many columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 columns, and something is hidden in this. So the job of researcher is to first of all understand the data set. Okay, the context under which it is to be interpreted. We know the tragedy. Now we know what has happened in that ship. Now, what was the end result of that ship? Because there is an objective of this. So we would like to find out the solve or answer certain questions with regard to that tragedy which has occurred. So many persons have died and so many have survived also. Let's see. So I will start the process of analysis. I say analyze. Under analyze, you have given me various tests or informations. I'm going to use descriptive statistics here, but tables are given, how to create tables. Then parametric, non-parametric test. So you can compare means here, one sample, independent sample, paired one way and over. GNM models, univariate, multivariate are given, generalized models are given, mixed models are given. Correlation, bivariate, partial correlation, regression, various forms of regression also given. Log linear analysis also given. Neural networks, classifications, dimension reduction factor analysis type are. So reliability, non-parametric test, various non-parametric tests, they are given to us. So forecasting, survival, you name it, is everything is there. But I am going to use descriptive statistics for this. So I will be using descriptive statistics, and first one is a frequency. Second one is a descriptives. Now frequencies. When I say frequencies, frequency, how many times? Now, if suppose data is with regard to age, frequency doesn't matter. But if you say male and female, frequency does matter. When I say frequency, age, male means how many males, females means how many females. So this means I can be using on the basis of that whether how many males are there or how many females are there. So I can analyze that information. So remember, which command is to be used on which data, that is a human decision that we need to take. If a variable is a scale variable, I will be using descriptives here. But if variable is a discrete variable, countable variable, nominal variable, ordinal variable, then I will be using frequency command for this. So let me click on this frequency command. So this screen appears before me. I shift survived from this category to this category. And it is mentioned here display frequency tables, nothing else. I am simply saying display frequency table. Do not give me anything. I say okay. And let me share with you my output screen, because output will be on a different screen. So I am sharing with you now output screen. So this is before you. Now 887 are the total persons. There is no missing information available. And with one command, I have found some information that 61% could not survive, unlucky fellows. Their dreams were shattered. They could not complete the journey of their life, which was claimed in the media. Yes, this is going to be. So many persons were considering themselves lucky to be on the ship, but sorry, they could not see the light of the day. So 61 persons have died and 38 persons have survived, lucky ones. So at least I got something out of that table. Earlier there were so many columns, but now I have got 445 they could not survive, and 342 they have survived. So this data seems to be very good for me because now I got some information. I traveled my journey from data to information. Again, I go back to analyze. I go to descriptive stats. I go to frequencies. Instead of a survival, I go to class wise, and I try to find out this frequency tables. Now see, how many persons voted? 216 they were in the first class, 184 in the second class, and 487 in the third class. See the pattern. Majority of the persons they were in the third class. 50, more than 50%, you can say 54.9%. Only 20% they were in the second class and 25% they were in the first class. I could not find out the reason why there are less number in the second class. Generally what happens in our Indian railways, you know very well, very less number of passengers in first class, then more number in the second class, then more number in the third class, like we say. So, but here, the reasons may be different at that time. One thing is very clear that their third class passengers, they are occupying almost 55% of the seats in the ship. So, okay, that's good information. I go to analyze, I find descriptive statistics under frequency only. So why not, instead of finding out only one variable, why not I say shift survival, shift PC class, shift gender, shift siblings, and shift parents also, right? So all, and they can give me information. So not survived, I just know, I know, this I know. Now gender male, oh my God. So majority were males, 565%, they were males, and 35% they were female. So on the ship, there were more males than on females. Okay, one more information is given. 604 persons, they were without any spouses or siblings. So they traveled alone. There were no persons accompanying them. 209, they were having one person, either in the spouse or sibling. 28 were having two, and so on. 7 were having 8 persons. I do not know, but when there are more persons of your family on a ship or family on a vehicle, there are, because you would like to try to save so many persons of your family. So chances of survivals are less in that case. But see, let's see. Then parents and children also 674 persons. They were without any parents or children. Generally, because parents and children, they have less ability to fight as compared to young adult. So it can be possible that because parents were with them, children were with them, so there may be survival rates may be less. I do not know, but I'm just thinking. So let's find out. Let's try to find it. So these are the tables which have been given. Try to understand. I have not found here mean. I have not found median. I have not found standard deviation. Why? This data is a countable data, and it will not give any meaning to me. If I say male and female and I find mean of that, what meaning it will convey? So, my dear friends, one thing very clear, software will not tell you whether you have to find mean or not. It is you as a researcher who will decide whether we should find mean or not. Say, when I go to analyze, I go to descriptive stats, I go to frequencies, there is an option available to me under statistics. There is an option. See, I can find out quartiles, I can find out cutoff points on equal groups, I can find percentiles also. I can find mean, median, mode, sum, right? Values as group midpoints, skewness, kurtosis, dispersions. I can find out, but these will not be conveying some information to us. They will be adding to the noise. They will not be clearing the noise. So the purpose of research is to get some information, not get some noise. mean of a gender, mean of a class, mean of you can say survival or non-survival will not convey any information to you. So that is why we say it is better. You are as a researcher is to decide whether we want this or we do not want this. So I'm not using it. Yes, charts. Okay. Now, under this bar charts, this can be a very good source. Pie charts may be good, but pie charts sometimes may be clustered, you can say, may give less information to us as compared to bar charts. But pie chart it has its own advantages also because it can give you relative figures. You can understand information in a better format. But histograms, no, not at all, because histograms I will be using only if data is a scale data. Why to use histogram here? So, you want chart values on the basis of frequencies or percentage that you can decide, because frequencies on count numbers, if it is there, you can find it out. You click on this. The moment you say percentage, then it will not be 545, it will be 1 to 100. So percentages data can be given to you. So I use the frequencies only. And the same I say display frequency tables. I don't want these. I want only charts now. So I click here and oh, the thing is there. Oh yeah, beautiful. So now you have a charts with you. These persons could not survive. This person have survived. Okay. First, third class percentages as compared to first and class. Huge, right? And then male and female, more males as compared to female. And then siblings and spouses. Now, no sibling and spouses, huge number, and very few persons are having 2, 3, 4. In case of parents, children, without any parents and children enjoying their life, and but with parents and children, these two, and then very few persons, you can say. So you at least you got some information. This is the point, right? You got some information, not the information, not whole information, but you got some information. Let's move on. I go to analyze only. I go to descriptive stats and frequencies. This is the whole format is over now, so leave it now. I go to the second part now, descriptive statistics and descriptives now, to this part, right? So I can go to descriptives part. Under descriptives part, I will try to find out descriptives of age and fear, these two. Now there are so many persons in the age, so I can analyze the age, young versus old versus medium aged. So I can analyze this variable because 887 persons age, very difficult. There will be some children also. I do not know. But see, what are the options given to me? I can find mean. I can find minimum, maximum, variance, standard deviation, range, kurtosis, skewness, right? Sum. I can find out sum, but will not convey anything to me. So on the basis of this, I can say continue. And if I click here, save standardized values as variable. Sometimes we standardize the values. If you can recall, x minus x bar over standard error, that is equal to z. So when you convert the variable in terms of, express the variable in terms of standard deviations, then we say we have standardized the variables. Because when a variable is standardized, the mean of variable will be 0 and the variance of that variable will be 1. So if you click on this and OK, say OK, this variable will be stored in input sheet, not in output sheet, in input sheet as a new column, right? So, but that is not required by me, so I'm leaving. I'm saying OK for age. Now data is before me. Descriptive statistics for age. 887 people and all are there. So nothing is missing with you. So all are valid. Okay, range is 80. Range is 80 means minimum minus maximum age. So from 0 to 80. 0 cannot be the age of a person, but of course it could happen less than 1 year. So they have treated it as 0. But it must be having some days also. So because when you say 0, the person has not been born. So how it can be the age of the person? So it must be near 0 you can say, but not 0. Maximum 80, minimum 0 they say, almost 0 you can say. Mean is 29.47, standard deviation 40, variance 199, skewness and curves they are within the limits. So now how to interpret it? One thing very clear, that there were some old age persons, 80. One thing, second thing is also clear, that there were some children. They are having less than 1 year of age. Two things are clear to me. One thing more is clear to me from this data, that the average age of all the persons of 887, that is 29.47. Very good number. 29.47 is a very good number. So if suppose this number would have been 68, I would have said old persons have boarded the ship. If this number would have been 12, I would have children have boarded the ship. So 29.47, this means average age. This means on an average, the persons were in the, you can say, young category, or they were not old, middle age category, you can say, not middle age, less than middle age. So the ship was carrying more young people and less old people and less children, you can say. This is the average age. But variance is also there. You cannot say that everybody is young, because when there is a variation, this means some persons will be young, some persons will be old, but when we find average out of 887, then definitely they are averaged out. Skewness and curves, they give the shape of the distributions, and they are within the limits. So we can say not very different outliers are there. So leave it there. So these are the descriptives on the basis of which we can find some information. Now I again go back to my analyze descriptive statistics, and I go to the third. This is explore, beautiful option, and I use it almost whenever I analyze the information. And you will find out some figures from this, that how we are getting this. Now, if you convert dependent list as survived category, right? Nothing survived category. And you want how many survived and how many have not survived. So you are getting survived category in this, and they are giving me this meaning of a survived. Nothing more. Only one variable, and they have given me the mean of that variable, and that's all. But now the journey starts. The journey starts in the form, I say analyze, I say descriptive stats, and I say explore it. So dependent is survived. I convert into, say, classrooms. Instead of this, I can first of all show you. Let me see the output. It is not giving me any good output. It will be better if I find out, explore, and I try to find out here age variable, and I see the survived and non-survived. What is the age, average age of people who survived and the people who could not survive? So I can find out. See the table here. Age, not survived and survived. Now The person who have not survived, their average age is 30.40, and the person who survived, their average age is 28.47. I cannot say this is a great difference between these two, but the person who have survived, their average age is less than the person who could not survive. So earlier total age was, you know very well, when I examined overall age, it was totally different. It was what was the age at that time for survived category? Point 29.47 for all the persons. Now I have tried to find what is the age of the person who have survived and the person who have not survived. So this is giving me some better information. Age point 30, 3.4, 30 years, and 28 years who have survived. And all the descriptive statistics, the persons who could not survive, and the descriptive statistics of the persons who could survive. See, so under survived, we have minimum and maximum, 0 and 80. And under not survived, 1 and 74. So the people who were 80 years of age, he has survived, and the person, the maximum who could not survive, his age was 74. And the children who were less than of 1 years of age, they have survived. They must be in the arms of their mothers. They must have survived. If mother survived, they have survived. But here, they people, they could not survive. So that is why it's a very sad state of affairs. So we could not analyze this further information. Now we go to analyze, and we try to find out some better aspects also. And when we say cross tabs, under explore, there are various ways you can find out statistics also, descriptive stats, outliers. You can find out. You can find out plots also, which type of plots you want, histograms, vector levels, and you have various options, right? If you want stats only or you want plots only, you can find it out. But you can analyze the variables in terms of various factors. Now, let me come to a very interesting aspect. An interesting aspect is this is with regard to the cross tabs. And under cross tabs, we have been given this data. This I say survived under rows, and class say gender under columns, nothing more than that. And I say okay. See this table, beautiful table. Now you have got some more information. What this information says? This information says more males they could not survive, and 4 females they survived. Under not survived, 81 females and 464 males they could not survive. More males they died. Why? Because there were more males in the group also. But see, under survival category, there were more males and less females, but here the trend is opposite. Females 233, they have survived, and males only 109, they have survived. So interesting figure is before you, that when it comes to the question of death, male persons, they have tried to save their siblings, their wives, they have died, and many females they have survived because they got the hope. And if you can recall, the heroine of this movie has survived, but the hero has died. Now come to the next aspect of this. If I say descriptive statistics, not in this category, analyze descriptive statistics and cross tabs. And whether class wise I say who has survived, only class, survival and class. So I find the interesting figures here also. Now see, not survived. Who died? Persons belonging to third class. 368 third class persons died. 97 from the second class they died. And 87 from the first class they died. Survived, see, 136 from the first class they have survived. 87 from the second class. And 119 from the third class they have survived. I can get some better picture also in terms of percentages also. So if I find out percentages, I go to cells here, and under cells I need row type percentages. Right? So row type percentages, I say now you can find out better information. Not survive. 67% of third class they could not survive. 17 of second class they could not survive. 14 of the first class they could not survive. Right. Now come to survive. See, 39% of the first class they have survived. Very good, very good. So they were having, you can say, they were occupying the upper part of the ship, not the lower part of the ship. So they could survive, and they were having access to boats also. If you have seen the movie. So in the second class and in the third class, you can analyze. This is in a better format. I have got the information. Whether this results will be same for males and females, I can check it. Analyze. I say descriptive stats. I say cross tabs, and I say here. I shift this gender variable to here. Give me the same results for males separately and females separately. So I say okay. And now they have given me females, same results for females and then for males. Let me find out female, not survive. So third class, 72 females died, 6 and 3. Wow. And in case of survival, 91 female, they have survived in the first class, and 72 in the. But generally, you find the interesting figure that females have survived in all the classes. Right? Now come to males. Males, 296 of the third class have died. Of course, 77, very less number belonging to first class, they have died. And when you say survived, the maximum survived, they were having first class and third class. So now you are getting some information as compared to genders. So females were lucky, and females in the first class, they were more lucky as compared to the females in the other classes. So I have got some information on the basis of analysis of data. So suppose this does not attract you, simply click on this display clustered bar charts, and you will get very interesting information. Now in this format, right? See, who cannot survive, survived, and not survived. And this is for females. So it can be this way also. You can find out. And this is for males also. So graphs you have produced simply by clicking one point of information here. And if you wish to find out, say, tests, chi-square test is there, click on this, you can find out. Correlations you can find out. If data is nominal, you can find out effect sizes of nominal data. If data is ordinal, you can find out effect sizes of ordinal data also, and some tests also. So eta square, this is effect size of nominal versus interval, and like this, there are various tests are given, so you can use those tests and can find out important information. At the last, my dear friends, I will give you some information with regard to tables. Now here tables, you can, it's a wonderful command, custom tables. So what I will tell you, suppose I want to create a table and I want that survival should be placed here. So I leave here. If I say a class should be on this side, I leave here. Right? So this is a form of a table, right? I am having. I want even a sex also on this side. And this means not survived male, female, survived male, female, and belonging to first class. So you can have a summary statistics also. What do you want? I now want only count. You can have row percentage, column percentage, table percentage, something like that. So many things are there. So you can have, but I don't want that. So I close this. I click OK, and this gives me a table automatically, which I created here in a beautiful format. So this is one. Second, I will give you an exemplify chart builder. If you click on chart builder, I want this type of chart. I click on this. So, okay, no problem. You want something on the basis of survival. So we click on survival, and you want to stack. What type of survival you want? I want survival on the basis of say class. So I click on this. So this is it has been stacked, right? So nothing more. I click on this and I say produce me the chart. So they have produced you the charts, not survived and survived on the basis of class. But the moment you say the same chart, but you want some information on the basis of some more. So how we can find out? You can have panels, row panels. Click on row panels here. So you got a panel, or and you want separately for males and separately for females. So you want this information. You say okay, and now see, this is for female same graph. This is for male same graph. So in this way, I have tried to tell you that SPSS is a very good software, of course a paid software, and which can be used. Earlier we were having some columns. We try to find out how many survived, whether they survived from male or female, what was the average fare they have paid, what was the average age. So various combinations. You should have questions before you start analyzing the data. Data cannot tell you something. You need to get something from the data. So my piece of advice is the more you practice, the more you learn. So not practice, first of all read what is a mean, what is a median, what is a mode. Now mean and median, when distribution is a symmetric distribution, we use mean. But if it is asymmetric, we use median. But you need to understand this. Software cannot tell you, right? If there is too much variation, variance is very high, then meaning of mean will be, credibility of mean will be low. So that you need to understand. But I have tried to tell you that SPSS can be used to find out useful values like this. Keep practicing, keep reading also, and keep practicing so that you can be a good researcher. Remember, you cannot be master of all the things, but of course you can be good student of the subject of your choices. Follow your passion. My best wishes to you. Thank you very much.